Okay, well, there they are. I was going to do an intro, but look, there's the boys. This is episode 1 of the Past Was Ours podcast, just to make us feel all old. And yeah, we got Moonlight Parade with us, my old muckers, Mr. Al Borg, Mr. Ben Todd, Mr. Steve Murphy, and Mr. Simon Edney. How you all doing?
Good,
yeah,
mate. Nice to see you.
Yeah. So, what's the news?
Well, we got an album coming out
When's that?
on 26th.
Nice. So, third album.
Yeah. Pretty prolific.
Got past the sticky second one.
I was sticky as well.
I'm trying to keep this one shorter in the amount of songs. I think there's 10 on it instead of, 11 or 12.
So you're running out of ideas then, Ben?
Trying to keep it all, no fillers, basically.
Nice.
Killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
So it comes out on the 26th. Is it 26th? Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday.
Nice.
Just digital.
Anyway, should we play the old Amsterdam video and then we'll have a chat about the new album?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how I do this. Here we go. This is Amsterdam by Moonlight Parade.
Take the train, take the
There we go. So yeah, tell us about the new album then. You said it's a bit more concise, or what's the difference, or what's the progression?
Probably more radio friendly, would it be? A bit more poppy. I think when we started out, it was quite synth based, and as we've gone from album 1 to 3, it's sort of gone more song based, maybe. Seems to have, hasn't it?
I think it's quite poppy.
Yeah, as poppy as we can be, anyway. You know, still miserable.
I don't think it's miserable.
No, it's thoughtful pop.
Yeah. Now the melodies are strong. Every song in it. There's no filler on it whatsoever. We had other good songs that we were going to put on it. It could have been 15 tracks, but we didn't think they were right, did we, for this?
No.
These ones just seem to sit together nicely, and so it's only 10, which is quite a short album, but whatever, so be it. You know, it doesn't have to be 50 minutes long every time, does it?
No, definitely. Have you changed your approaches since the last album?
I don't think so, have we, really? It's just the way the songs have come. We work in a few ways, but the ways we've worked hasn't changed. It's just the type of music we're making, I think, isn't it, really?
I think, because I'm sort of doing the production-y side of things. The first album that we ever did was really quick and raw, you know, and when you look back on it, you can kind of hear that a little bit. But I think, you know, I'm not technical, but I've got my ear in, I suppose, now as to what I like, you know, what maybe works, and you pick up little tricks along the way, I suppose. But yeah, you do tinker with things to make sure you get, you know, it's that thing that you can do for years and years and years. You can just tinker and tinker and tinker.
Yeah, I know that, mate.
Well, yeah,
I'm the king of tinkering and pontification. Hey,
yeah, and you do, and it's because even if you've got, you know, we haven't got a big audience really, but you just want it to be as good as it can possibly be. You know, whether it's 200 or 2,000 or whatever listening to it, you want it to be as good as it can be. I think so. You do tinker. And
you seem to be good at getting stuff finished. Like, I'd love to know that working process of like how you keep things moving. Do you set yourselves deadlines or targets or anything like that?
Just keep doing it all the time now. Like for me, it's something I do all the time. I like every week. You know, it's usually in the evenings when I've got a quiet time, but it's just become part of the routine. So when you're just making music an awful lot, you're going to start crossing things off the list, I think, eventually. You know, you just keep on going. And it's become a bit of a bug, you know. It's like a thing that I've caught the sort of bug. I just like seeing a track build and come to life, and it's like the best thing in the world to me.
Yeah. Ben, you're pretty disciplined with your old songwriting, aren't you? You just consistently kind of write, or?
Yeah, always, and haven't really stopped since I started all them years ago. It's almost like Al says, it does become, for me, I want to do something better than I've done before. That's the challenge. It's like, well, not the perfect song, but it's almost, you know, I'm never sort of happy. I am happy with what I've done, but I always think there's better to be done or better to be, you know, made, sort of thing. So I like to challenge myself all the time and say, why did that work? You know, why is that chord structure? What's so special about that? What's, you know, not too deep. I don't think too deeply about it because that's the whole. I enjoy actually just writing and, you know, sort of playing automatically. But there's definitely a process underneath that's going on and sort of adjusting all the time.
I've been watching Tony Hawk the Skater. He does a podcast with Jason Ellis. If you've come across that, Hawk v Wolf, it's called. But they're like, he's like 55 now, still skating as good as ever. But he was talking about the fact that if he stops, that'll be it. It'll be over. He just keeps going.
I think a little bit each day, or if you can do something each day, whether you're listening to a mix you've done the day before, like Alex Ascent or whatever, or you're just going back and doing something each day. I mean, sometimes I don't play the guitar, but I might go on the keyboard, or I might, try some different sounds out. But at least it's all adding to it each day, if you see what I mean.
I mean, Ben's the songwriter, and you were the songwriter, and that I just occasionally I get a little bit of good luck or something, and I'll do, But,
the George Harrison, pull a little banger out.
I'm not going to compare myself to George, that's for sure.
No.
Talking about pulling bangers out, what's that in the background there, Ben? On your... It looks quite phallic.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Is this going to be one of those weird, like the news thing where she had a big dildo up on the shelf?
It's kind of reminding me of the Amsterdam room in Scream Studios, yeah. The red lighting and all that.
Just a bit of Dove, you dirty perverts.
It's like a dove.
Oh man.
Nice, Steve.
That's too big for me.
So how have you found it, Stevie, with the old guitar parts? You've got some lovely little melodic parts there, because like mostly, in the past you were on the old punk parkour-y type stuff.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that, because like you say, I've always been a rhythm guitarist, and back then not even doing that really, was I? I was just a face. But yeah,
no, you always picked a bit of melody out, even in that older punk stuff.
Yeah, I suppose there's always sort of like little hooks that would come with me and Al working together back in the day then. And with Ben now, he does a lot of the rhythm guitar. I very rarely play any chords on any of the records. It's all jingles or lead. So we really enjoyed it. Yeah, really have. I think we, like you said about the competition, we do. I think we've over the years now pushed each other, to be a better standard. And of course, people are listening now that weren't 3 years ago, and you want to do a good job for them. I won't mention names, but you'll often get messages from people in established bands making nice comments about our work. So people are listening, and you want the next one to be as good as the last, at least. So hopefully people will hear the third album and see progression. But again, we really did it for ourselves in a way. So hopefully other people like it. It'd be nice.
And then, Mr. Edney, you've come into the fold recently for some live gigs and stuff. Yeah. Are you on the? Is it live drums on the new record?
No, there isn't any, no live drums on there at all. But it's been interesting going out and playing them live. Seeing the reaction, particularly. I mean, a lot of the people that have been to the gigs. Well, what we've done two proper gigs as a band, and a lot of the people that are there are already big fans. We didn't have to do anything. We just turned up and played. And you got these people singing back the melodies to you. It's a brilliant feeling. Because. We've all been in those bands where you're on a Tuesday night and there's 12 people in the audience and nobody's ever heard your stuff, But
you're doing is it some harmony? I saw a little video from Manchester, but there wasn't too much recorded, was there?
Yeah, trying to do a bit of backing vocals. Yeah, I love singing, and it's, it is difficult to start off with, but I'm starting to find my feet a little bit more with it.
He's a natural. He's a good singer.
We were just dabbling, weren't we, when we sort of ended everything, when it went wrong, man. Yeah, they got that little rehearsal recording where there's Al and you doing a few harmonies, and it's like...
Oh, yeah, we did Doldrum and stuff, didn't we?
Like Ben and I, when we did that little 360 thing, forgot about that. Those little 360 sessions, weren't we?
Yeah, that was good.
We did a few things.
Work on a Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Work was finished
I think we had about 6 rehearsals over 2 years on it. Cy came to a couple, then
Chaz was there.
Chaz was there for a few. Robbie turned up for a few.
It was just a bit of a social gathering, wasn't it? In the back of a warehouse.
yeah. So, what have you got coming up?
We got a gig. We got a gig in about 3 weeks in London at the Amersham Arms. So we're looking forward to that. We've just been rehearsing for that one. And then next year we're playing London again at Water Rats, which is quite I don't know it, but it's quite a famous spot, isn't it? I think it's got a lot of history. Like Bob Dylan played there when he first came to England and stuff. So just to be on that stage is going to be cool, isn't it? And other than that, I think we've done so much actually in such a short period of time. It's nice now to have a band together where we can play. So I think we put out loads of tunes. It's just going to be a case of maybe taking the foot off the pedal a bit and enjoy playing. Just enjoy meeting up, rehearsing, and playing gigs when they come along. We've got one in Brighton.
Possibility again, now, because it was off the table. So have all the venues survived pretty well over there?
I'm pretty sure a few of them have gone. I think I heard in Liverpool, was it the Zanzibar's gone? There's quite a few well-known ones that have gone down. Right. Now that people are allowed out again, maybe they'll open up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think even the gigs that are happening now, they're not as busy as they were before. People are sort of staying away a bit,
There's going to be a generation of kids that had never done a gig from like the age of 15 to 17 or whatever as well. Hey. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's just like time stopped still, didn't it, for pretty much 2 years on the live music thing. And you still hear, every other day you hear about a band, someone's had COVID, so they've had to scrap it. And that might carry on for a little while, whether that's months or years, who knows. Just got to get them in when you can.
That kind of defined your working process in a way, I guess, wasn't it? Because you started out just before COVID, making that first album just for the fun of it, I guess, and then you all live apart slightly as well.
Yeah, it's all remote. It's all pretty remote, the way we record. And it used to be that Ben would come here, or we don't actually get together that often. Now when we get together, it's in the rehearsal room, which is much nicer. That would be a nice way, I think, in the future to develop songs where you can feel the energy in the room and an idea can form like naturally in front of you, rather than a kind of backwards and forwards, without being able to see the person.
That's the promise with this stuff, innit? It's still not quite there of rehearsing. I've tried a couple of bits of software that claim to be able to let you rehearse online with each other, but you all have to be like 4 bars out of time with each other. It's weird. Or work to a click track or whatever. But I can't wait for the day where I could have a jam with yous again.
You will one day, mate. One day.
That'd be awesome.
But you can't beat you. Every musician knows you can't beat being in the room with your mates. There's something. That's why we do it, probably, isn't it? It's certainly not for money or glory. It's because you're with your mates and you're making something out of thin air, and that's cool.
And you're 19 for a few minutes again,
always
mucking about, ribbing each other and all that. And then, I don't know, Ben, same for you. Like the song just goes up about 10 BPM as soon as you bring it to a band.
As soon as
something will happen, as soon as you get Edney on it, It's just one of them feels, and we're on it.
Everything becomes like a Gabba track.
But it's definitely a collaborative thing, eh? You get someone puts something on that you never thought of, and then you're like,
we're quite lucky. We've got Luke as well that plays keyboard, and he's a bit of a multi-instrumentalist, really, isn't he? He can play anything and everything. So he's, as well as Si, the two together has been like people that have come to see us play live before and then after. They're sort of blown away by how we're sounding now.
Yeah, awesome.
we've been really lucky actually that we haven't had to put any of these ads out to get people. Yeah. It's all happened. Si, we've known for 20 years, and Luke, he just happens to be sort of in the family circle, and it's like, oh, do you fancy this? And he's like, yeah. Just it's nice and easy, and you kind of know people before you get going.
And then you got that back catalogue of 30, 40 songs now that you can put a set together.
Yeah, we're just going through them, really, finding out which ones work live, and if they don't gel that quick, you just cross them off the list and move on to the next one.
Yeah, that is really nice actually, having a back catalogue like that, because we even since the first gig we've ditched 3 or 4 songs, haven't we? Just like you're able to do that. You're like, nah, let's just chuck that one away and start something new. And then you've got the energy of a new song as well. That's always really nice when you first start playing it. The first few times it's like, oh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it gets you excited again, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You still get that thing, though, where you get off stage thinking everyone hated something, and then they go, oh, that was the best song. And you're like, really? Still get that to this day, like, really?
I do, yeah. I've always struggled with that whole live thing about second-guessing what people are thinking and maybe dwelling on it too much. And it's like, I wish I could just switch my brain off, actually, as long as my fingers are still working, and not give a shit about what anybody thinks about any of it, because you're just doing your thing, really, aren't you? But always when you come off, you're just like, oh, could have done that better, could have done this better, or whatever. But I don't know, maybe that's just a characteristic that some people have. Overanalyzing
on stage sound versus the PA, I reckon. Sometimes on stage it's so muddy that you're fighting, and then people out front. Pressure Point was massive for that. I remember that we think it sound crap up on stage, and people were like, "No, it sounded great out the front." You're like, "Really?"
We had that just the other day. On stage, it sounded like you were being thrown around the inside of a microwave oven. Do you know what I mean? It was just like. And it was just clinging on to what you could on stage to sort of, just listening out for the changes. Well. It was incredible.
You had everything up at 11.
Yeah, of course, you come off stage. Oh, that sounded good. And then you start wondering, are they pissed, or do they just not give a shit about the music? Or, you just have to take their word for it.
Yeah.
I think when people come into the room as well, that changes it as well. It does seem to affect.
All the reverb dies, doesn't it, in a venue?
Different, completely.
Yeah.
Thinking of doing that, because there's this organisation that offer a few sort of funds for musicians. Like you can get a video made or do something. A band that we know called Affleck's Palace, they did that. They got this grant.
They're the ones that wear Rennie hats, got the baggy vibe going on. Yeah.
But they got, I think, a video in that made. But thinking ahead, you could almost get the sound off the desk, like you're saying, and get a really good video of a live show, couldn't you? And match it all up and
get some of your audience, just like everybody, record this song on your mobile phones from different angles, and then sync it all with that sound. Give some shouts out to some other what music you've been enjoying lately.
Well, let me start by saying I went up to the Hope, right, and I was, where the stash used to happen, and they've got a wicked sound system and stage in there now. It's amazing. And I saw a band called Soccer 96, who I've seen at a festival in the summer, and they blew me away. They were amazing, like just unbelievable live band, like. Bit jazzy though, a little bit on the jazzy side, but they were banging. Everybody was up.
It's Brighton, eh?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of sweaty people jumping around. It was wicked.
That sounds awful.
Anyone else?
The Libertines on Friday here,
Oh yeah.
At the Brighton Centre.
Have they got any new stuff coming out, or?
Don't think so. No, I just think it's get together and play the old stuff.
Did we all go and see Pete Doherty? Who did any of? I'm sure Robbie.
I've never seen him live.
I saw Carl Barrett with Robbie years ago.
Oh yeah, I saw Pete Doherty and Robbie was with Dave. Is it his mate Dave? That came. It was just acoustic, him on the Brighton Dome.
Oh, cool.
Who did I see? I saw that at this festival, end of the road. Warm Dusha.
Oh yeah, they're wicked, aren't
they? They were good. They were, I don't know, just funky, and like I had a big party vibe going on about them. But there's a Brighton band called Keg, KEG, that are really good. They're kind of a bit bonkers, really. I think there's 8 of them, and they sound a little bit like Devo, maybe. Devo mixed with Talking Heads. They're very sort of here, there, and everywhere, but it's funky. And then, yeah, they just seem quite stand out a bit at the moment for me.
Have you come across Graham Coxon's Superstate stuff?
Yeah.
Have you listened to that? It's like futuristic funk or something, completely unexpected. Like I'm really digging that at the moment. Yeah.
You're gonna invest in the book as well, because it's a graphic novel, isn't it? It's all about.
Oh no, I didn't know. Yeah, no. Yeah. Like I'm kind of so far out of all the scene now. I've missed. That's why I like talking to people and going, what music do you like? Because I don't see it anymore.
Each song represents a different story in this graphic novel thing they put together. It's quite a project. It's amazing, actually, from what I've seen of it. Yeah. So
it sounded a bit like his version of the Gorillaz, like, all right, David, let me have a go, sort of thing. Yeah, so that makes sense, I guess.
Move over, all barn.
Yeah. You've had your time. Come on, you're doing your acoustic-y thing. I'll take over with the funk.
We saw him at the end of the road, actually. Damon Albarn, only for a few songs, but he was magnificent. He's a real national treasure. He's amazing.
His new album is really, really amazing. Yeah.
I'm always finding new stuff going back. I mean, we do like every now and again we get together and have a Thursday night where we put a playlist together, me, Al, and Savage, another mate. And, you know, some of it's mixed up with new stuff that we've heard on the radio or found or whatever. So, you know, but most of it is old stuff that we've never heard before, you know. Still going back into the 50s and 60s and finding those little gems. That's a bit of crate digging.
Need a format. Like, what was it about MySpace, right? I keep thinking back, like, why was MySpace so amazing for music when it happened that Facebook doesn't allow you? Or Spotify, I call it, like, if you do the recommended on Spotify, 8 moves and you're back where you started, because it just seems to, like, link the same record company or whatever, doesn't it?
I think back then there wasn't such a thing as algorithms.
Yeah.
You know, it was a bit of a purer time, MySpace. It wasn't all about, you know, advertising. I think it was a nice community for like 2-3 years, however long it lasted, and it was a good thing, you know.
We used to search by the city as well, didn't we? Because we just searched by Liverpool, and you pull up all the Liverpool bands, or you pull up all the Manchester bands, or you pull up all the Brighton bands, or something about it that just helped you find music better.
Yeah, it was good setup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it not there now? If you were to type it in, is it not there?
No, it's still there, but nothing works on it. Like our old sites are still there, but you press play on something and it's buffering for about half an hour and never gets anywhere.
It's got the same buffers from like 2004, and they just worn down. Yeah. Like us, yeah.
But it's deleted all the old friends and the old messages and all that kind of stuff, because I was like trying to think back to some of the old bands and tracks.
But it's like all that ghostly data hanging around in the ether, isn't it? It's like all of my drunken pictures from when I was 25 are all out there somewhere, and I can't get to them.
That's a scary thought, isn't it?
It's like that day we're all waiting for that Elon Musk thing where you just plug into your head and download all these gigs from 19 and go, oh, they were shit. We were shit. Oh, my memory was we played that pretty well, but the reality...
I'm not ready to give my brain over to Elon Musk just yet, you know? Just like, you know... oh, wonderful.
Yeah. All those nights you can't remember getting home, you'd like be able to download what you actually did. Imagine that.
Well, that
definitely take the shine off it.
I reckon. Well, what do you reckon then? Shall we look? we'll put this out, and if it's recorded right, and if people would like and subscribe and all that business, look, I'll put the little graphic down there in the corner there. If you like and subscribe and comment to this, we might be able to get these guys back we might do a live stream on YouTube potentially and do some question and answers or something. But I'm also quite keen, like, this is just a good excuse for me to talk some music with mates. So
thanks for inviting us on.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been waiting for an excuse to do it. You know, it's been an idea for a year or so. Well, yeah, cheers for agreeing to do it. And I hope the recording comes out. And I hope I can't wait to hear the album.
Me too.
Not long now.
Yeah. Si's not heard it properly either. Well, you've heard most of it. You've heard five.
Most of them.
Yeah. There's not many left to hear.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, cheers. We'll wrap it up there then.
All right, Hilbert.
Have a good one.
See you, mate.
Yeah. Cheers.
Right. Yeah.
See you later. Cheers.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Good night, John boy.